Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I am listening you.
Looks like you are in this space. Indeed, you are. I'm not sure if at least the temperature is like the space.
Oh, when is the Brazil Ultra Marathon?
It's January.
No, I know it's January. When is
January
it?
on this year is on the 11th.
January 11th. Okay. Because we used to have people come from Brazil to Arrowhead, and they were only like a week or two apart sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a pleasure to have you here, Ken Krueger, to talking about Arrowhead. I think this is the first time that you speak to Brazil.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep. No, this is very, very glad to be here. Good to see my old friend Mario.
My pleasure, Ken. Remember our race 2007. Oh, God.
Yep.
We had the black hair that time.
So that was my first one. That was life changing.
Okay,
Yeah.
Philip, you go ahead.
and my friend Mario Lacerda, thanks again to bring some people, some amazing people from North America to talk with Mario.
My pleasure, Felipe, my pleasure. Ken is a very, very old friend. We had some fun over there.
Yes, we did.
He had. I don't. It's interesting. It's interesting.
How was your experience in Arrowhead, Mario?
Huh?
How was your experience in Arrowhead, Mario?
Oh, it's good. It was fun. Indeed, it was fun. Yes, it was difficult. It was very hard, but I had the opportunity to understand how cold it is. I met Ken, so we had some friends. I got some friends, and things are. But as a race, y- you have to be used to the cold,
Mhm.
or at least understand how cold it is. So as an experience was wonderful because we always learn, but it was the worst thing that I ever, the most painful things that I ever did in my life. Yes, it is. It was scary indeed. In that year, in 2007, only Sarah finished, only one girl among 50 finished the race. And one guy, I still have the pictures around here. One guy lost 5 toes, three in the right foot and two in the left one. And a few of my friends that I know had some frostbitten. We had to put water so they won't lose the toes. And it was a very, very scary experience. And that's why I never came back. Me and Marta, a friend that was there with me, we helped Ken when he got there from his bike, and he was kind of feeling a little cold, wasn't it, Ken?
Oh, that's the coldest I've ever been. That year was our lowest finish rate ever. It was, yeah, it
Only
was,
one person in a foot race, Sarah.
yes. Yep.
Only one among 50. I believe never happened again, did it?
No, not like that. One year we had maybe 9 finish out of 50 some where we had a lot of heavy wet snow, but never as low as that year 2007.
This year was because of the cold.
Yeah, the
This
cold, and also it was a weird year. We didn't have much snow, so the trail was the race is on a snowmobile trail.
Mhm.
Um, and so there wasn't much snow, so the trail was in really bad shape. So not only so the two things that really dictate our finish rate are trail conditions and weather, and we had both very bad, very cold and very poor trail conditions.
Mhm. Okay. Is International Falls the coldest city in the US?
In the continental US, there might be, so Alaska is kind of separate from the continental US, and they might have colder. But typically we are colder than Alaska even.
More than Alaska.
Yeah, we're right. Like my house is 100 yards from the Canadian border,
Mm-hmm.
100 meters.
100 meters. The the course of the Arrowhead is one part in US and one part in Canada.
No. It's all in the U.S. It starts like a mile from the Canadian border, but it's all in the U.S.
Ah, okay. Uh, just tell to us a little bit about the history of the Arrowhead, when it started.
Okay, so Arrowhead's 135 miles, and racers can run, bike, or ski, and it's on a snowmobile trail. And
Mm.
so back, the first race was 2005. So 2024 in January will be our 20th year. But the guy that started the race, his name was Pierre Oster, and he used to go to Alaska every year for winter race. And his wife said, "Well, why don't you start one here?" And so he did. So the first race was 2005. I think they had 10 people, 5 finished. Next year, 2006, I think they had 32 and 16 finish. And it's kind of grown now that it's very popular, and we sell out, we fill up right away. And we have people literally from around the world, all over the US and all over the world come. And International Falls is a very small town, 6,000 people, very remote.
What edition did you have more participants?
We so we filled up probably 2000. We cap it at about 150 racers or so, and so we like to encourage strength, endurance, solitude, survival. So we don't want a lot of people on the trail, and it's remote that our checkpoints can't handle a lot of people. So we fill up every year, and we have probably for the last 15 or 16, 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, this year when registration opened, we like crashed the registration website. Everybody was trying to get in. So that's a problem I have to figure out how to solve for next year. And there's in 2019, we had a polar vortex. It was, super cold year that year too. And there was a couple documentaries have been on the race, but this documentary is called 40 Below, and he's been doing it at film festivals. So that generated a lot of interest. So there's a lot of people really interested in the race.
Mm-hmm.
And I have literally thought about this race every day since I first heard about it in 2005. But as I've become race director, there's a lot of other people like me that are really obsessed with it, and it's their favorite race of the year, and they really look forward to it.
The ultra runners are so different because the toughest the course is, they like most.
Right. Yeah. If we had one year we had perfect trails and very good weather, and we had 82% finish rate, and people were almost disappointed that they got an easy year. They want the hard years. They really do. You remember how cold it was and how bad the snow was, and then they see there's a lot of wolves in our area, so you see some people see wolves and a lot of wolf tracks and stuff like that. So that makes for really good stories.
Mm-hmm. What is the rate of tropical countries participants?
Oh, the finish rate
No,
or the
participants.
Oh, so I jotted down a couple notes. So so again, we're a very small remote town, but I can just list real quickly the countries we've had. We've had, of course, USA, Canada, Argentina, Italy, Australia, Netherlands, Brazil, Spain, France, South Africa, Hong Kong, Serbia, England, Sweden, Switzerland, Portugal, Uruguay, Malawi, Africa, and Scotland. So, people literally from all over, and that's one of the neatest things, or the neatest thing about being race directors, meeting all these really cool people. And so you get somebody from Brazil that's an elite runner, and then they tell their elite runner friend from Australia, and that's kind of how the word gets out, because we don't advertise or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it all started with three runners, me, Marta, and Rodrigo.
Yeah, and I want to say Brazil has been represented. I want to say every year since then. I can't swear to it, but almost every year, if not every year. Yes.
Yeah, let me see if I find them, if they are available, or invite them to celebrate this meeting with you again. That was
That would be awesome.
Let me see if I can find them here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, would be very good to have a good rate of Brazilian athletes in Arrowhead. But when I when I talk with the ultra runners here in Brazil, they always talk about the how much is expensive to buy the equipment to go there.
Oh, so um see, I don't think it's that bad, because normally, so the entry fee is very low.
Mm-hmm.
And like sleds and stuff, I can borrow racer sleds, and sleep. The sleeping bag's the most expensive thing, but you can even, I can borrow somebody a sleeping bag. I don't have 100 of them, but
Mm-hmm.
it's as but I live here, so to have the boots and the shoes and the jackets, I guess it could get expensive, but I know other races the fee is 5 or 10 times what we charge.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Not considering the subscription fee, but the equipments, the jackets, the boots, and the others. Because the ultra runners, they say here that they will just use in Arrowhead, not in other race in Brazil or in other race in Latin
Right,
America.
right.
Yes, and this is well. I am afraid of the cold, and they are also.
Oh, well, it doesn't hurt to ask, because I can help them out, or other racers can help them out. People have extra gear.
Mhm. Yes, yes, would be good. Uh,
I think I
what
got it.
I what I would like it's that this interview would come to a lot of ultra runners here in Brazil, and who knows, to get to Arrowhead, and we have a lot of Brazilians in there.
Yep, yeah, we should be able to help them out.
Uh, One of the questions that some ultra runners did to me, it's about the races. When ultra runners go to subscribe to Arrowhead, what what races this ultra runner needs to have?
So I want to say all the Brazilians have been runners. So our race is run bike or ski, but I want to say every single Brazilian has been runners. So we require a qualifier, of at least 100 miles. A 100-mile race is what we
Mhm.
require as a qualifier.
Okay, so if the ultra runner had a Brazil 135 in its curriculum, it's okay.
Yes, that would be awesome. Yep. But I,
Okay.
I would also encourage them to come as early as they can, days or even weeks ahead of time. As a matter of fact, so our goes for 60 hours. So I would encourage people to come early and get used to the cold. And there's a
Mhm.
funny story.
Rodrigo may come here. Rodrigo may come.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. There was, and this is only maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but there was three Brazilians. It was 2019. It was a polar vortex year,
Mhm.
and there was three Brazilians staying at a hotel, and they had showed up a couple days early to get used to the cold. And we have a thing called bivvying, where you sleep outside in the cold. So the race goes 60 hours. So most people on foot take over 50 hours. And so they end up sleeping in the woods at least one night. And so you have to have mandatory gear during the race, and part of the mandatory gear is a 20 below Fahrenheit sleeping bag and what's called a bivy sack, which is basically a Gore-Tex sleeve that goes over your sleeping bag.
Mhm.
And so the three Brazilians were going to bivvy in the hotel parking lot to just practice sleeping outside, which is a really, really good idea. And somebody called the police because they thought they were homeless, three guys sleeping outside. And then the police showed up and they couldn't really speak English. So yeah.
In one interesting story that happened with us, we were training. We were training, me, Rodrigo, and Regina, and then suddenly a border patrol stopped close to us and start asking, "Hey guys, well, are you guys from here?" I said, "No, we are from Florida, from Canada, from Brazil, from uh, from Florida, from California, from Brazil." And the guy said, "Yeah, I would like to see some documents." And we had nothing. And then it said, "Okay, we have to go to the hotel to bring the things." But we had no car because we got there running. Then we have to come back all the way. So he put all us in the car and drove us to the hotel.
Oh
And then
no.
he checked our documents and then brought us over there. And then, it was the first time that was time checked in the US for documents because we
Wow.
are so close to the border. You just cross walking.
Right, right.
Nobody does that walking.
Not very often. Yeah.
Not in the winter, at least.
Now I think that the people from International Falls, they are most used to these runners, no?
Oh yeah, yeah. The people love the race. I mean, they think all me and all the racers are crazy to do it, but the town really loves it. I mean, it's just brings interesting people and people from, like I said, people from all over the world. I remember one of my first years, I was in one of the stores and there was a guy, a really tan guy looking at hand warmers or something. I said, and it happened to be Marcio Villar. And I'm like, you must be here for Arrowhead, but he couldn't really speak English either, but he was here
No,
for the race. Yeah.
And yeah,
I remember these things happening there. We were different people. We spent 1 week before the race there. So people in the city were everybody already knew there are three Fahrenheit that what they are doing here. But at that time, nobody knew exactly about the race. Race
That
was
was the
brand new,
third
so they
year.
were
Yeah.
crazy asking. And more than one people stop on the road when we are training to ask, "Hey, you guys want to ride? You guys need something?" Because nobody does that there. Okay.
Right.
Now the city is more used to these crazy people.
Right. Yep. Yep.
now I am a little bit curious about the how the three Brazilians they explained it to the policeman about the homeless.
I don't know. I think they eventually said Arrowhead and then the police understood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What year? We can realize that if you remember the year, or
I th-
Felipe, you
I
can
think it
search
would have
them.
I think it might have been 2019.
2019.
Oh, I don't believe this is, there is more. I believe this is the biggest quantity of Brazilians. Three is too much for 1 year.
Oh, so maybe it was shoot, I don't remember. I thought it was 3, but it was a couple anyways.
Oh, at
But
least.
yeah, that was funny.
I have here a list. Let's just because I recorded a video last year with all the Brazilians that already done Badwater and Arrowhead. Let me just open here. and I will say all the Brazilians that finished the Arrowhead. This video was the video that made Carla Goulart speak with me. I remember that she called to me about the video, and she called to me to explain how Arrowhead works and all the things.
Oh, she loves Arrowhead.
Yes, she,
Loves
she,
Arrowhead.
she lives in International Falls, no?
She lives 2 hours south of International Falls, town called Grand Rapids,
Ah, okay.
120 miles away. 200 kilometers?
Yeah, close to that. Carla Goulart, she tried Brazil. She's here. At least she was a very good runner at that time.
Yeah, I think one year, I think she was first woman finisher.
Yeah,
Definitely one of the top.
good. Carla Goulart. She's the ambassador. Now she's the ambassador.
Yes.
We should invite her.
Yeah,
Well,
she signed up for this year. She races almost every year.
Good. Let me see if I. Is it okay if you guys say if I invite her, Felipe?
no problem.
Okay, so
You can invite her.
let me see if I can find her here.
Would be very good.
Carla Goulart.
I will ask it to Cristiano Marcelino if he has this list, because in my video I was just speaking, not.
Oh,
Uh, did you recommend that the ultra runners that go to Arrowhead, he needs a cold race? He did a cold race before Arrowhead.
do I recommend it?
If the to participate, if the ultra runner had a cold race before Arrowhead, or no, or not. But
It's not required
okay.
because normally, like if I mean, for me, I figure if somebody's coming from Brazil to do Arrowhead, they're pretty serious about it.
Mhm.
Um, but it would be a huge mistake to show up the day before the race, come from Brazil, and try to race without having any idea how to deal with the cold. Like we have a guy from California, and he comes shoot a couple weeks early every year just to get used to the cold.
Mhm.
And a lot of people do, but he probably comes the earliest and stays the longest.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is a mistake. If you don't run, if you don't may run, if you are not use it, you will die.
Yeah, that would be a big mistake.
Yeah, that's a big mistake. This is not a race. Sometimes you can register in a race that you don't know, you don't plan well, things happens, life happens, and then you don't plan well. But once you are there, you start adapting, improvising here and there. But in the code, there is no no improvisation. There is no. You have to be well prepared and well planned.
Yeah, I know we've had people um, before they're like 3 miles, 5 kilometers out of town, their water's already froze. And your next chance to get water is 38 miles. So you're already in a really bad spot. So if if you don't know how to figure that stuff out.
Rodrigo, I think Rodrigo is there on the link. Let me. Hey, Rodrigo, click on the link.
Ah,
Show your face here. Let's see.
here.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello.
Hey Ken,
How
how
are you?
about you, my buddy?
I
How
am
are you
good.
doing?
I am awesome. How are you?
Oh, good. I'm driving back home. I'm sorry. Mario just sent me the link a few minutes ago, and yeah, I'm very happy to reconnect.
Yes, it's been a long time. Good memories.
Yes,
Very long time.
you've been talking, wise words about not showing up unprepared. So I can attest that. Don't do
I,
that.
I do have to tell a quick story about Rodrigo, if it's okay.
Of course.
So the first year for Arrowhead, it was super cold, and after the race, Mario and Rodrigo and Marta were international falls, and we invited them out for dinner. And my kids were pretty young then, and Rodrigo had on like a snowmobile suit, like super super warm clothes, going to the restaurant. And my son says, is he going to eat with all those clothes on? I said, I think so. And then the waitress brought us glasses of water with ice in it. And Rodrigo goes, oh, sweet Jesus, no ice.
Man, it was a kind of experience. I can say that.
I
Well,
still remember that.
from a guy coming from Brazil, especially my home state, Goiás, it's pretty hot out there. Even now, I think it peaked like the hottest temperature ever registered. I think it was like 42 degrees or something, which is like 119, probably 120, something like that.
Wow.
Going from there, about, I would say 100 something in the summertime, and then fly to Arrowhead, which was, I believe, first time I arrived at Arrowhead was like minus 37, 38, something like that.
It was crazy cold when you guys were there.
Yes, it was quite of, and never have ever tasted or ever tried snow or ice temperatures before in my life, right? So it was insane. I believe people competing in ultramarathons, they have to have some sort of, let's say, mentality or mindset for, endure crazy stuff, endure, harsh conditions. But I would say that was a bit extreme.
That was one of the toughest ones we ever had.
I remember picking Rodrigo at the airport. I was the first getting there, and then I remember Rodrigo, the airplane, a red airplane land there. He parked taxi, and then Rodrigo left, crossed, and get inside, got his luggage, and then when we opened the door, Rodrigo said, "Oh my God, this is so cold. Everything was white. It was minus 37.
Hey, we're going to scare everybody away. Nobody's going to want to come now."
But let me tell you, maybe people are listening to us. They're like, okay, but let me tell you from my experience what I did the next year, because the first year I thought, you know what, I go full on it. I'll be there for like maybe 4 days, 5 days prior to the race. I'll train a bit, and then I'll be okay, right? That was definitely a mistake, because you gotta have the mentality was there. The mentality was not the problem. The legs, not a problem as well, because most of this race, I think you will walk anyway. Especially, if it's very, very cold, and if you run, the chances are you sweat a lot, and then you exert a lot as well. So chances are you're gonna, walk and run probably 80% walk, 20% run, something like that. But nevertheless, I didn't understand the basic principles of layering. And I think for first comers, if you guys, I would advise really understand layering. Yep. That's one of the most important things I've learned. And in the first time I participated, I didn't understand a thing about it. So that was the first mistake. I think if you got the layering right, the second thing is nutrition. I think the second time I participate, I got the layering right, but the nutrition was wrong. So I was spending too much calories and not, getting as much calories. So the result was after like 12 hours of race, I was dehydrated and I was undernourished. So that was kind of compromised my entire race. But, you know, that is the race that I've ever dreamed about coming back and participate again. Maybe,
Awesome.
maybe a few years from now, my kids are like bigger now. You see, so
Well,
maybe
Diego, we had our own source of fire. We had our own source of heat.
Mario, you are the craziest of the crazy. Because
We had a
Mario,
pan, a cook pan. We put snow inside. We melt just to have water, and we carry that things in a sled that was metallic sled, shifting to all the sides with two long iron rod. That was so crazy.
Yep. Yep.
Mario had this mindset of like, okay, I managed bad water. I finished. I know in the hot temperature you need to be cold. So in the cold temperature you need to be hot. I mean, logically speaking, maybe yeah. So he thought like, yeah, let's boil some water while we're running.
Did not work. It
Oh
did not
man,
work.
oh
Oh
man,
God.
there
Yeah,
was.
you tend to not
Uh,
want to eat or drink because you get so cold when you stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
said,
You don't think well. The question is, you don't think. Now here I can think, okay, let me talk about how was about the pen and the pressure can and how I make a fire. So we will stop, we will put some grids, we will turn in the gas, we'll put some matches, and but this is now under the cold temperature, you don't think like this. You just freeze the thoughts. Your brain freeze together. You don't think clearly. There is no step one, step two, step three. It's just a shock. What I'm gonna do? I can pee, I can poop, I can eat, I can do nothing, just freezing cold and pain. And then you remove your mints, and then it start burning, and you feel burning, and it's cold. What I'm gonna do? I need to do something. And you never get calm. Never. It's always stress all the time. We laugh a lot. We laugh a lot. There was a point that we said we are doomed. The only thing to do is laugh, and then we start laughing.
but like Ken said, we don't want to scare people off. Um, but the
No, we
reality
should
is,
scare them, Rodrigo. We should
but
scare
the
them.
reality, the reality is, it is in terms of let's say nature and extreme conditions. I've never seen anything. I've never experienced anything like the cold temperature, and it is something that you got to respect. For me, Arrowhead, it's like the Nazareth of the ultramarathon, and the Nazareth is like this 100-foot wave that people gather in Portugal in the winter to try to ride a 100-foot wave. So
Wow.
Arrowhead for me, it's the Nazareth of the ultramarathons. It's harsh. Is I can't describe how cold it is because if you never faced -50 in your life, your brain could not comprehend it. If you never been like in no wind blowing in your face and you feel like it's burning and your throat is burning and your nose is burning, but everything, the sun is, you know, it's the sky is blue, the sun is, shining, and it's -57.
Yeah, and the
Oh
trail
my
is
God.
beautiful, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw some movie from Lahai that is the toppest of the planet is in India. I saw
Yeah.
some documentaries over there, and it was freezing -10 Celsius, -20, but it's still on the ground. It's still trees, and you walk, and there is no snow. It is high, and people are freezing, but when everything is white and goes all the way to -40, oh. So Rodrigo is right. For me, the worst race in cold, I believe it's colder than the Arctica run there in Alaska, all that things, isn't it? Is Adita run colder than Arrowhead?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
The
We have
race,
people from Brazil doing Adita run in Alaska and telling, oh, it's not that cold. Come on.
Joilson said to me about the 6633 Arctic Ultra, but I don't know if it is coldest than Arrowhead.
Oh, gosh.
He said to me,
It was a nightmare.
he said
And
to me an interesting thing also. Joilson said that the cold in Arrowhead is different than the cold in Alaska or different than the cold in Arctic, and he needed to buy other kind of equipments. This is crazy for me. I thought it was the same the cold.
It can be very dry.
Mhm.
So when you breathe, the air can be very dry and it constricts your throat. And especially people with asthma really struggle because the cold constricts your throat and then it gets dry. And so you want to drink, but you can't drink because when you stop to drink, you get cold.
Mhm.
So it's tough. Yeah.
The craziest thing to me about Arrowhead is that you can't leave any part of your body exposed.
We you can you try not, if it's cold, you try not to. Some people, like you can put skin stuff on your face, but pretty much if it's real cold, I wear contacts and just have my eyeballs showing. That's about it. Cover up really good.
yeah, there is nothing you can do to protect the layering. It's good, but as Rodrigo said, if you understand layering, it does not mean that you're not gonna freeze. Because when you
No,
start
no, no, no,
opening
no.
the layering, you're gonna freeze anyway.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've learned on my second attempt, um,
Did you
I
finish,
thought was
Rodrigo?
no, I haven't. I went to the checkpoint one, which was like, I don't know, 60 something kilometers, 70 kilometers, something
Yes,
like
on
that.
marathon. Elephant is
Um,
elephant point, isn't it? The elephant base.
Well, that would
the
be
gas station.
Gateway.
Yeah, it was at the gas station. I'm not sure. Maybe the course changed,
No,
but
it's the same.
same thing. Okay, cool. So one of the things I've learned for my second attempt was it's not about if you can run 135 miles. It's not that you can survive out of the the elements or things like that.
Mhm.
The race is about of you being comfort of being punished by the cold temperature. Comfort, I mean, in a way that you're not saying like you're not cursing all the way to the finish line, or comfort in a way that you're not saying like, okay, I'm quitting. Because if you can, you will be cold the entire time. Doesn't matter what do you use. I mean,
Yes.
Mario
Yes.
tried with a pressure pan. Didn't work. We tried with the let's say I for the first attempt I tried with the um the small snowmobiler outfit.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Minus 60 close.
Yeah, with mittens and everything, with thermal pads, nothing stops the cold. Nothing. So it's about you to get a layering right that it won't frostbite you literally or burn parts of your body. Once you get that right, and once you get the right let's say amount of exertion, sweating, evaporating, and conserving the heat inside of you or inside your layers, once you get that right and you're still cold, that's it. That's the best you can get. So you're gonna be cold the entire time. If it lasts like 48 hours, you'll be cold for 48 hours. If it lasts, I don't know, 60, whatever. The part that I would say to people that are trying for the first time, parts that you be aware of is the nutrition. If you get there, it's the nutrition. The nutrition is basically, for me, was because well, now I live in California, so sometimes we go to the mountains, it's like -20, -25. So I'm not scared with, the cold temperatures anymore. But back then, what scares me was, okay, I didn't have anything on me easy to eat or grab. So I need to stop and I need to think 10 minutes prior of me stopping. Like, okay, I'm gonna, remove my mittens and remove my belt, then put my mittens back, wait for 5 minutes or 3 minutes until I feel my fingers again. And then I'll remove my mittens, open my bag, pick whatever I need, put on my pockets, then I put my mittens back, wait another 5 minutes. When I feel my hands again, I'll remove my mittens, then I'll strap it, then I put my gloves back. So it's the let's say the process for you, it will take you like 30 minutes every time you stop to get food. So you need to think ahead, like, oh, I need food in 30 minutes. So I'll need to start preparing now. Otherwise, it won't happen. Otherwise, you think, oh, I'm going to do all this all together. And then you're like only with your, bare hands or, second pair of gloves in -50 something for like 5 minutes, you're doomed. So
and also the food, Rodrigo. You are not talking about the food because the food froze.
Oh yes, I'm talking about getting stuff that
Yeah, but you have to talk now about the things that you are looking for. How they are. The water is solid
the
block
water.
of ice.
Forget about it. I'm talking about nuts, chocolate maybe, or peanut butter with chocolate. Things that they're high, like high calorie or calorie dense. That can you can chew it. You can let in your mouth to melt, for example, for a couple minutes, and then that's it. You can't like have a I don't know, a fruit or a banana or a bar or honey or anything. It's just it's oh my god. even thinking about it makes me freezing.
What is the record on their route, Ken?
The record for foot for men is, I just wrote it down, 28 hours 27 minutes.
Wow,
that's insane.
And for women is 33 hours 5 minutes.
Who is the man and the girl?
Jake Heggie is the guy and Gretchen Metza is the lady, and they both did it in 2022. And both of those records, they beat the old records by kind of a lot. But like you said, even if you do the math on 28, 29 hours, it's more walking than running or hiking, if you will.
What happened in 2022? Was it a little warmer?
Good trail conditions and not terrible. We haven't had a warm year in quite a while.
This is just like the Everest. There is one year that 70 people was able to climb because there was all perfect condition and everything else. But this only one year ever. The other one was, Rodrigo, the year in 2007, it was the lowest finisher ever.
Yep.
0 men and only Sarah won.
Wow. Yeah. That's
so
insane,
we were
man.
really in a very deep condition.
Yes. Yes.
I'm curious, Ken, about transition from, let's say, ultra running to ultra biking. Because I've been riding a bike with my son for a couple of years now, and I feel way more inclined to go for like ultra races, but on bike rather than Oh, I'm almost 52, so you can imagine what kind of advices you'd give to someone like me that would like to transition from ultra running to ultra biking.
So our races run bike or ski, and just so it's a lot of the same issues, the layering, the cold, all that. So the thing that biking throws at you is mechanicals as well, because a lot of so biking is the highest finish rate of the three modes, but what gets some bikers is mechanicals. So bikes don't like 40 below. We get not a lot, but a couple people every year will have trouble with flat tires. So now you describe getting food out of your sled or whatever. Well, imagine trying to change a tire in those conditions. Yeah. Yeah. So mechanicals on bikes, free hubs, things like that. But honestly, we have I don't want to say the word easier, but we have a higher finish rate on bikers. And we also have what we call an Apoio trophy for people that have done it all three ways: run, bike, and ski.
Oh, nice.
So I like to see people try all three ways. And so this year will be our 20th year. And in those 20 years, we've had 22 Apoio trophies. So it's pretty rare. But I would encourage you to try the bike.
But Ken, I remember talking to you in 2007, and I'm not sure if it's fair to say that you finished the bike a portion of the race, because you were walking the entire time, pushing your bike.
Yeah, yep, that was amazing.
So you not only need to be prepared to ride the entire course, but if your bike fails or if there's no trail conditions, you need to be prepared to push your bike.
Yep,
Basically.
that first year, I got to the starting line and my bike didn't work, and my wife says, "Well, what are you going to do?" I said, "I don't know, but I'll see you at the finish line." And I pushed it most of the way. And I remember coming up the last hill, and you were outside there. I remember that with your camera.
Yeah. So I
still, as a
would
matter of
say,
fact, that picture is on my office wall.
nice. I would say you should get 2 medals.
Well, I actually did ultimately, of the 22 Atois, I think I was the 4th or 5th one to get one. So I have done it all three ways.
Nice.
But yeah,
and
I would
which one do you
encourage
think which one you think it's the most difficult, or depends on the conditions of the trail?
Well, it depends on a lot of things, but I can tell you by far, we've had the fewest skiers finish. So we've had 36 skiers finish versus 381 people on foot and 638 on bike. So by far, skiing is the lowest. And of those 36, the year I skied it, I think we had 7 skiers. So we had good weather and good trails that year.
Wow. But so let me change the question. In the perfect conditions for skiing, for biking, and for running, which one of those you think would be the most difficult to finish?
In perfect conditions, foot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that feeling as well, but I don't ski, so I don't know.
Well, skiing in perfect conditions, if you can skiing would be probably the most fun. I mean, you'd have a blast. And the ski, I could look up the skiing record. I'd have to go away from the screen, but the skiing record, I think, is faster. The skiing record beat the foot record. It was like 22 hours or something. We had a crazy fast skier one year.
Wow. And what is the record for the bike?
The bike record, I have to, I don't want to leave, but it's under 13 hours.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. I think it's comparable with Brazil 135. Mario, do you still have like a bike section of
Yeah.
Brazil 35, or
No more bike. No more bike.
no more bikes? But back then, when we accept bikes, it was like half of it, half of the time. So
Yeah.
it's like 12 hours or something, right?
Yeah. But if it rains, then the bikes are doomed.
Yeah, that's well.
They
Wow.
can't climb. They
That's
can't
the
move
beauty
because
of ultra races.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. You never know what you're getting into.
The solos
Yeah.
are faster than the bikers because now they can move, and the bikers are just stuck in the mud, not even 1 inch. And
Wow.
yes. They are usually they ask me to do support them. Can I go biking to? Can I bring my bike to support my runner? I usually say, yeah, but listen, your runner cannot be alone by himself. And if it rains, your bike is gonna break, and then you won't be, and then he have to be with you stop. And I don't think so. Then I let them do that. Happens every year.
I think they banned bikes at Badwater as well around 2006, right?
Sorry?
I think they banned
Oh
bikes
yeah.
on Badwater
Yeah.
as well around 2006.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same reason. So all of a sudden, you need to stop what you're doing and help your pacer or your crew.
So that's another thing we haven't talked about, Arrowhead. You're not allowed any help from anybody except a volunteer, and the volunteers are pretty much only at the checkpoints except for emergency snowmobile patrols. So you have to carry all your food and water to make it from checkpoint to
I
checkpoint.
remember that.
And the once you leave the midway, there's a 3/4 check. At 3/4 of the way, there's a checkpoint, but all you get there is water.
There is one thing that still surprised me. Last year, my daughter and the whole family we went to Montana, Big Sky, to ski and all that things. And there I had the idea to check something back there that I did in Arrowhead. I went inside the house. I took a pen and I put something like half of the pen with snow, and then I put on the freeze and on the oven, and then it melted. At least half of that changed in water. And I remember that there in Arrowhead, we'll put the full pan of snow and only a little teeny bit of
Yep.
water, and not
Yes.
even the water. It was, and then you have to freeze. You have to melt snow, put more snow, put more snow, put more snow to have a pound of water.
Yep. So yeah, and then a couple years ago, so you can't have any at Arrowhead. You can't have any help at all except from checkpoints. And the checkpoints, you can get food and water and warm up. And then we started a unsupported category where you don't. The checkpoints, all you can do is open the door and say, "Hey, my name's Krueger. I'm number 69. I'm in and I'm out." You get no water, no warm up, no food. So you have to carry 60 hours worth of water on your sled or stop and melt it, which is miserable.
So how do you call this? Let's say this. You said it's a race inside Arrowhead, or it's a category.
Yeah, it's unsupported. They get a.
I would call it suicide category.
Suicide.
It's we don't get a lot of people that do it, but there's some people that kind of finish every
I
year.
can imagine.
They want a little more challenge, and so they do it unsupported. But it, so I said there's a couple documentaries, and so they filmed like these two guys coming into Mel George's, which is the halfway checkpoint, and one guy goes inside and warms up, and he gets something to drink and something to eat. And they show the other guy trying to light his little stove out in the parking lot because he can't go inside. And you can just see his fingers freezing trying to get his lighter going. And but he did make it.
Boy.
So, yeah.
Oh boy, that's brutal, man. I mean, I have a lot of respect for you guys. I have the Arrowhead has like my biggest respect of all. I've been in Sahara twice. I've been in Badwater, for my friends and my buddies, facing them for like 6 or 7 times. I finished Brazil 135. It's Arrowhead for me. It's like, yeah, it's the queen of the races.
Well, it's a lot of fun.
Yes, indeed it is. Indeed it is.
Guys,
How
I gotta go, but I wish you all the best in this year. Ken, I would love to see you again, my friend, in the future. Until then, good luck. Have a lot of
Thank
fun
you.
this year, and yeah, see you in the trail.
Yeah, it was great seeing you.
Likewise. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Thanks, Mario.
Rodrigo.
Bye
Hi,
now.
Rodrigo. I have here the list. Cristiano Marcelino sent to me the list about the Brazilians who had done or did not finish the Arrowhead.
Okay.
Carla Goulart finished 3 times and did not finish it 5 times. Cristiano Marcelino finished in 2017. Marcio Villar finished 2 times and did not finish 5 times. Siria Costa 1 time finished and did not finish it in 2020. Simone Austin 2 times finished and 4 times did not finish. So the Brazilians take a lot participations until finish the Arrowhead. Joilson finished in 2016. Marco Farinazzo finished in 2010. And Marco Farinazzo finished in 2010 Brazil 135 and Badwater in the same year. Marco
Wow.
Farinazzo. And Diego Costa did not finish. Mônica Otero, Rodrigo Cerqueira twice. João Prestes, Mario Lacerda, and Marta Arato did not finish. So we have just 7 Brazilians who finished Arrowhead.
That's not a lot of people.
It was fun going through because I did a little research ahead of this, and it was fun going through because over the years you kind of forget some of the names and stuff, and it's also really neat to me that people come back year after year.
How many checkpoints the course of Arrowhead have?
3.
Three checkpoints.
Yep. Yeah,
And
one is it's a convenience store, a gas station convenience store, and for that we literally turn it into a locker room. I mean, we just take the place over. And then the midway checkpoint is a resort on a lake, and we pretty much take that place over. And then the other one is a remote place, and we have wall tents with wood stoves in them. And then we also have snowmobile. So if people get in trouble, we do have snowmobile patrols, but you could easily go 16, 20 hours and not see another person.
And you don't have any city nearly in the route.
Right.
Okay, guys, I'll leave you guys talking, and I need to go now. And Felipe, thank you very much. Ken, was a pleasure seeing you
Yes.
again.
Same here.
I'll leave you guys talking. Thank
Okay.
you. Have a good
You
day.
bet.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Okay, let you guys talking. Where I do leave here is here.
And how many is the elevation gain, Ken, in Arrowhead?
I don't know off the top of my head. The first half of the course, the first quarter and the last quarter is pretty flat. The middle is very hilly, but there's no mountains. It's steep hills. So, but I don't know the answer. But not a lot.
Mm-hmm. For you, what is the bad part of the course? The worst part?
So you leave the midway checkpoint, and it's about 40 miles. So what is that? 60 kilometers something to the next checkpoint. And at that checkpoint, you're just getting water, but there the hills are relentless, and they're not steep, but they just never stop, up and down and up and down. And so it's the longest section of the trail and the hilliest section of the trail. And you're also pretty tired by then.
Hmm. Okay, and I can imagine that dragging a sled with you.
Yep. And then once you get there, then you only have like 25 miles, 35 kilometers to go. And then it's like a pine bog forest. It's just really, I don't know, I guess kind of boring. It's just all the same, not much scenery. It's all pine forest and pretty flat. And it's, if you look, it's just a constant increase in slope. So if you see, racers are required to carry headlights and reflective stuff. So you might see somebody's blinking light a half mile away, and they're just always a little bit higher than you because you're always going uphill.
I remember when I interviewed the City Acosta, she said to me that the most boring in Arrowhead is that you just see white and white and white.
Yes. Yes, that is true.
The experience of Rodrigo and Mario, what I noticed is that running is the less of the problem. Running, you need to walk more in Arrowhead.
Yeah, if you, it's not like you show up and you're going to run a race. It's more about survival and getting to the finish line.
Yes, yes. I think for me, for instance, today I was in a treadmill and I ran 7.5 kilometers in there, and I was all wet with sweating. So if I try to do that in Arrowhead, I will just freeze.
That would be very dangerous. So Rodrigo talked about layering, and what he's talking about is you want to keep yourself from sweating. And so as long as you can keep going,
Hmm.
it's okay. You can sweat, you'll be okay. But if you have to stop, you are going to get chilled very, very quickly. There's one story that a guy, he was a biker, but he was going really fast and really hard, and he was in first or second place, and all of a sudden something happened. And so he was sweating, and all of a sudden something happened and his bike broke down and he had to stop, and it was very cold. And pretty soon he was inside his sleeping bag, shivering so hard that he couldn't stop shivering.
Hmm.
And, some guys came and gave him other racers gave him warm coffee and called for a snowmobile rescue. But he was like, I've never been so scared in my life, because you just can't warm. Once all your clothes are wet, they don't insulate you anymore. So if you have to stop for some reason, so it can be very dangerous.
Yes, yes, for sure. Because you will just freeze. If you can compare with bad weather, you will just taking off your clothes but Arrowhead, you just need to put more clothes in you.
Well,
And some,
if you that you're actually take something off
Mhm.
so that you don't sweat.
Yes, yes, it's very very difficult. Uh, about the legends that I talked with you. Um, so the worst temperature in there was 48 minus degrees Celsius.
About that, yes. In International Falls, yes. 55 Fahrenheit below.
About wolves, did some runners faced some wolves in there?
Normally there's a lot of wolves in this area, and they use the snowmobile trail to
Mhm.
run on because it's easier than running through the woods. So you'll always see you'll always see wolf tracks on the trail, and some years racers will see wolves.
Mhm.
You know, they won't bother you, but they're still kind of creepy, or like I remember one of my first times I was out training at night, and I knew I had to be getting close to that Gateway store, and I stopped to listen, and all I heard was wolves howling. And then I went a little farther and I stopped to listen, and all you hear is wolves howling. And it's a little eerie, and they're not going to bother you, but and like sometimes you'll see where they killed something on the trail and there's blood and hair all over. And
Mhm.
it's a little spooky.
The dangers of the wolves is when they are with a lot of wolves together.
Yeah, but I won't say I'm not aware of them ever bothering anybody up here.
Mhm. In this region, there some polar bears or not?
Black bears,
Black
and they
bear.
hi- black bears, and they hibernate.
Okay, okay.
So
So it's
no bears to worry about.
okay. This is good because the
Yep.
black bear is the danger one. The dangerous one.
Grizzlies are the dangerous ones.
Ah, grizzlies, not the bear.
Grizzlies. Yep.
Okay.
Black bears are dangerous, but grizzly bears are worse.
Hmm. Okay. And the other thing that I would like to question you that the people said, and also Mario, some athletes already lost their toes, their fingers.
So, yes. So, frostbite is when you freeze typically it's going to be your fingertips or your toes or your nose or your ears. And so unfortunately we do have that happens the years that it's very cold, we get frostbite. Normally, you warm yourself up slowly, and normally you'll be okay. But if you get frostbite bad enough, you will lose, you will amputate a finger. Usually it would be a fingertip or a toe. Um, I've seen noses, I've seen ears,
Hmm.
um, and yeah.
In the tracks, you have some snow patrolling in the tracks, or the athletes they run with some track in there, some GPS
So
track.
we just started. Racers have always been able to carry satellite trackers. Last year was the first year we made it mandatory so we can see where everybody is. And then we do have snowmobile rescuers, but you're not going to see a snowmobile every half hour or every hour or even every 4, 6, or 8 hours. But we are watching, and we do know where you are. And typically what we'll do is, they'll go check on everybody, and then they'll go rest for a couple hours, make sure everybody's okay. And
Hmm.
or if they need so typically what'll happen is somebody will be on the trail and they'll be struggling, and a snowmobile will come by and they're like, hey, I'm done, can you take me to someplace warm? And that's
Hmm.
kind of how that works. Some
Okay.
years we have no rescues at all, and some years we can't hardly keep up with the rescues.
Hmm. Uh, do you still have some open registration to next year?
Our registration fills up super fast. So for 2024,
Hmm.
so our race is always the last Monday in January, and it's 60 hours, 2.5 days. So we're full for 2024, and registration will open September 1st for
Hmm.
2025. But registration always open September 1st. And I will say one interesting thing, since we're talking a lot, Brazilians, most or all of the Brazilians carry a Brazilian flag, and they represent your country very well. They're always just a pleasure to have. I've never had anything but excellent experience with any of your racers or
Hmm.
any of the racers from Brazil. So you should be very proud of that.
Ah, yes, this is very good. I already had the opportunity to run some marathons abroad.
Okay.
I did a half marathon in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. I did the München Marathon in Germany, and I did the Mexico City
Oh
Marathon.
my. Wow.
Yes, and in all these opportunities, I had the Brazilian flag.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it is it's difficult to explain the feeling when you are with the flag of your country
Yeah.
represent.
Yeah.
Yes,
Huh.
and the Mexico City Marathon was very good to me to finish it in there because of the altitude in there, because you run in Mexico City with 2,300 meters above the sea level.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
yes, Mexico City. The Mexico City Marathon is the highest marathon in the world. These street marathons.
Okay.
So you have some headaches during the race.
Harder
You
to breathe.
yes, hard to breathe. You feel like some dizzy. You have to hydrate during all the race because of the altitude. And I was 1 week before, and I did two trainings in there to acclimatize, and it was what helped me in there,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
because in some hard conditions like altitude or hot temperatures or cold temperatures, you have to acclimatize.
Yes.
Uh, if a Brazilian goes to Arrowhead, how many weeks before you think it would be good to the people to acclimatize to Arrowhead?
More is better, but I mean, 10 days is a lot of time, but 10 days you should be feeling pretty good after 10 days. But that's a lot of time.
Hmm. Yes, because
And
sometimes.
also there's people that come early, so there would be other people that you could go train with, and if you're coming from Brazil and you come early, please let me know and I'd be glad to go out with them and help them out. And
Mhm.
I've gone out with you know certainly Marcio. I've gone out training with him, and anybody that's early, I'd love to meet them and help them out if I can.
Mhm. This year you have some Brazilian. Next year.
um this year I think we have, if I didn't miss anybody, Carla Gular Gabrielson and Simone Valentine Austin.
Ah, okay, okay. Three Brazilians.
And then I know Cristiano is coming down to race Tuscobia. So that's a similar race in Wisconsin, a little further south.
Ah, okay. Yes, when I asked him the list, he said to me that he will do this Tuscovia race,
Yep. Yep.
and you will borrow him some equipment.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So this is good. This is good. If some Brazilian go to Arrowhead, you help with some equipment. This is very good.
Yep. If I can, I'll happy to help them out.
Hmm. And how about you and Brazil 135? Mario was with us,
I
and
think I would die there.
I forgot to ask you when Mario was here, but you did you participate on Brazil 135 or
I
how?
have not. When I was younger, I thought about it, because he invited me over,
Mhm.
but probably not going to happen. Maybe I come as a spectator one year or a volunteer.
No, okay, okay, would be very good. This like staff in there to help. I think for you would be a very very good experience.
Oh
Brazil.
yeah. Yep.
It's a crazy crazy race. Brazil 135. I finished it this year. The
Oh,
135.
oh,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you. I
Wow.
took 51 hours and 47 minutes to do.
Wow.
Yes. It was just to think in Brazil 135 this year, it's hurting now
Wow.
because Brazil 135, or you are going up or you are going down. And this year we had 40 degrees and thunderstorms and a
Oh
lot
no.
of mud in the routes,
Oh my.
and you can't have your support crew with you because of the mud.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'd
Yes.
rather have the cold.
It's better the cold.
For me, it would be. Yep. Yep.
And then the next year, Mario did some changes in the start, and now Brazil 135 will be tough than this year.
Tougher.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Wow. No, do they have aid stations on that race too?
No,
No aid
Mario
station.
just allows the racers to go with a support crew now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I like to do ultramarathons with some backpack and take my things with me. But Mario just allowed the 135 miles distance with support crew, and he allows the experienced runners to do the 8 miles distance with the backpack without the support crew, just the 80 miles.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But here in Brazil, we have a lot of ultramarathons that are tough, like Brazil 135. We have Caminhos do Caravaggio in the south part of Brazil, and in there you have the cold in there, not like Arrowhead, but it could reach like 5 degrees or something like that, and some rains, and we have some
See
the
that rain in that temperature, that's cold.
yes,
That is
yes,
that is very cold.
yes. I will face this Caminhos do Caravaggio race next year.
Oh wow, good luck.
Yes, I will. I will try. I am now injured with some pain under my right foot, and
Oh,
I will need to do some physiotherapy. But next year I will try this 135 miles race here.
wow.
And we have a other race called the Caminhos de Rosa, where the temperature could reach like 44 degrees positive.
Wow.
Yes, we call the bad Y here. So we have a lot of crazy races here. Uh, today we today here in Brazil we have the Extremo Sul. It's a race in the biggest beach in the world. I don't know if you heard about. Here in Brazil we have the biggest beach in the world, the Cassino
What's it?
Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It has the extension like 230 kilometers of beach.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, and the race is being accomplished in there today, and it started yesterday.
Well, that could be hard to run too. That'd be
Yes,
very hard. Wow.
just running in the beach in the shore.
Huh.
Yes,
Wow.
ultra runners are crazy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes, And this year and next year you will receive how many athletes in Arrowhead?
We sign up about 180 people,
Uh-huh.
and then typically 10 or 15, because we sign up in September and the race is the end of January. So typically 10 or 15%, get sick or have to work or have family problems. So we try to start around 150 people.
Hmm. When you open the registration to Arrowhead, it take how many days to finish?
When we open it,
When you
oh, we're
open it
full. We're full in a couple hours.
in a couple hours.
As quick as the registration company can get through it. So I don't know, some other race directors do it different where they allow like 2 weeks to register and then do some kind of lottery. So I may try that next year, because lately it's pretty much been first come, first serve as long as you had a qualifying race.
Hmm. And in US you have some particularity because I already interviewed the Western States director and Badwater directors, and they said about the restriction of some parks to get a lot of athletes in there. It- This happened in Arrowhead also,
Could you say that again? The restrictions?
because some parks in the US has some restriction to have a lot of athletes. You.
We restrict ours just because we if if our race got bigger, so if you're at Arrowhead and you're miserable and cold and you're in the middle of nowhere,
Mhm.
that's what we want Arrowhead to be. Well, if you're miserable and cold and there's 5 people behind you and somebody gives you a sandwich and somebody gives you a cup of coffee, it
Mm.
just changes the race. And also our checkpoints aren't big enough to handle more people. So we kind of cap it at that 150 intentionally.
Oh, okay.
And our we have a very good relationship with the people that manage our trails. And we also do the race not on a weekend, but during the week. So we minimize any conflicts with snowmobiles because we are
Mhm.
using a snowmobile trail.
Mhm. Okay, okay. It's understandable. This. Okay. Well, my friend, I will finish our conversation, and many thanks to have you here, talking to Brazil, your first time, and I would like to see you in Brazil 135 every year. I am with you 135.
I will think about it. How's that?
Come as a staff.
We'll see. But it was thanks for making this so easy. It was super easy to talk with you. And again, I hope we didn't scare anybody. I hope if reach out if you have any questions. I'm always glad to help. And again, your racers have been wonderful, every single one of them.
Do you have Instagram? The Arrowhead have Instagram? Are you
We do Facebook,
okay?
and then we have a website, arrowheadultra.com.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will put in the description also too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And afterward, it will be recorded here in YouTube. And after 2 days, YouTube allowed to have some subtitles, and then the people from Brazil will be able to watch the live.
Oh, cool. Okay. Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, so my friend, many thank you, and have a nice race next year.
Thank you. Very good talking with you.
Very good. Bye bye, my friend.
Bye now.